Hello, it's the 25th of August and this is Solar Solace Farms. So I'm just getting a picture here, a video. The wind's been blowing literally non-stop, so it did give up a little bit last evening, but since about Thursday mid-morning it hasn't quit. And so that's why I was kind of surprised to see as many swallows as I've seen above the cows here. You can see them there. They'll just follow these cows up and down this strip because of the amount of food and insects that the cows stir up. Just kind of an idea, give you an idea what I've been doing here. I'm trying to get the birds. You may not be able to see them, but there's probably 40 of them right here, just above the cows, and kind of just cruising around. Sorry, my fingers kind of got in the way on that, trying to block the speaker so the wind's not so bad. But you can see the flag there in the background. That's how windy it is here. But so what I've been doing, you can see the two reels there. I've been back fencing them and leaving this back fence for 3 days with the water in the paddock, and then I'll move them. I'll move the water, and so I move them on a daily basis, and then I leave the water, so they're in, so they potentially can visit the first paddock for 3 days, and then I move them on, because that's about how much time it takes for the grass to start to want to get back. And I think that that's actually a farce, but that's what the experts say. I think they start growing right after you graze them if it's wet with the right conditions. But just look at all those. These are tree swallows here in Redmond, Utah. That's what we got. And I got a couple of canals that run through me, so I got barn swallows too. I'm going to build some habitat, some nesting habitat for the barn swallows, because they do as good a job getting the bugs as these tree swallows do too. They're just not quite as messy. These tree swallows aren't as messy. If you have like structures, they won't go and make nests on them. The tree swallows won't. So I got to get some tree swallow boxes up. I've also got to get the barn swallow habitat. That's cool. I love to watch these things fly. I'm just sitting here on the ground. I tried to choose a spot that was poop free. I found one. But the cows are happy as can be. I gotta go move the water into this paddock they're in on that other end. I just siphon it out of the canal. Well, I don't siphon, I pump it with a 12-volt pump that's battery operated with a solar panel keeping the battery charged, and then I put a pressure regulator on it, so when the pressure builds to about 8 pounds, it shuts off the power to the pump. When it drops, it turns it back on. Works slick as long as your battery's running, as long as your float's not plugged open. This is where Greg Judy would really laugh at me. He and I don't know Greg Judy. I wish I do. Well, someday I hope to meet him, but I was just commenting on how I had Hudson valves on my farm, and he's had them fail more than they've actually worked for him. He's lost hundreds of dollars with them. For me, it's just coming out here and either not having water for the cows or having it overflowing, because I'm pumping out of a canal, so it's dirty, and the orifice that water goes through for the Hudson valve, to keep the pressure regulated, it's literally the size of a pin. It's that small, if not smaller. So you can see how that would cause some issue. It does have a filter on the top of it. I ran it without that filter a couple days, and that's probably why it's having issues. But before that, it was almost completely plugged anyways. So here's all the calves from this year. Not all of them, but this is the biggest one here on my right. He was born first, and then that one was born last. I've actually got a cow down in that field there. She's my oldest cow, having trouble calving right now. I'm not going to get into that. I'm not sure how that's going to turn out for her, but She was born in 2011. So you do the math on that, or you can see how old she is. And so I'm not sure if she's gonna be able to get this calf out. We'll probably have to help her a little bit. And in that case, she will leave the property this fall as Hamburger, go towards Hamburger. I hate to see that, but I sure hate to see them get an infection after not being able to have a calf and just laying down dying too. Then you're wasting that animal. So you might as well make use of her as far as that goes. Sure, she would be fertilizer for the ground, but she would be more beneficial to just consume. So when I've got them in this first strip, when I put the water in this first strip, you can see how tight they kind of keep them. I don't know what I think I'm right around 20,000 pounds per acre is what I have 20,000 pounds of cows. Right now they're on literally a fifth of an acre, so take that. So that's 100,000 pounds an acre. Here's something cool that I just barely noticed. That was in my mix. That right there is what you call blanket flower. So that's cool that it come up. And it's went to seed already. Sorry, I keep getting my hand in the way. It's went to seed already, and them cows are not gonna want that seed in their mouth. So that's gonna reap seed in here. And as you can see, with this new planting like this, it's still got plenty of bare spots for that to germinate and to come up. And I want a diverse pasture. So there's a species that I planted that I've now seen that I can add to my list of species in here that I've seen. Haven't seen hardly a lot of the forbs that I planted in large abundance, but that was kind of to be expected. So anyways, there's two more of the calves from this year, and they're all bulls except for that one. There's one up there that was a heifer. So I got 9 bulls this year, 1 heifer. So 10% heifers. That's pretty good for if you want to sell some grass-fed beef. I had a guy or a girl, I don't know, somebody asked me the other day how good eating these calves are, and they're grass-fed. Obviously they're not going to dress like a beef cow, but these are kind of a more dual-purpose animal. I don't select for just the slenderest of animal. I want to have something that's going to do well on grass, and that by nature, you know, form follows function. They're going to have a deep gut. They're going to have a wide heart girth. They're still going to be kind of a dairy in them. They're going to have dairy in them, but they are going to have, their dressing percent is going to be somewhere between a dairy animal and a beef animal. So I'm not sure what that's going to be. I haven't kept records on enough of them, but I'll have 9 beeves unless somebody wants to buy these as bulls, which that little guy right there would make an excellent little herd bull right there. He'd make an excellent little herd bull for somebody. He's one that he's just on the teeter-totters of whether I'll keep or not. I've already got some that are black and white, which is kind of what I'm looking for. I got one that's black and white. Otherwise, I might be tempted to keep him myself because he's going to be a good one. In fact, right there is his father, right behind him. This white bull here. That's the sire to that little calf there. And they're just long and they're deep for these small of animals. Most of these animals, that bull right there probably isn't more than 45 inches. This bull right here is probably 47, 48 maybe. So you can see they're not huge. He's going to weigh, at maturity, he's probably going to weigh 1250. So he's not even huge. You can see from all angles here with him between me, the fence between me and him. So he's not like real wide, but he's kind of a dairy type here. And this guy in the back, when Buck here leaves, his genetics are available at Hoffman AI Breeders. He's pulled with A2 beta casein genetics. And that's why he's leaving, because he just can't help himself in digging holes. And if I wanted holes in my pasture, I'd have pigs. And I don't, so he's going down the road. Anyways, the guy behind him, he don't dig holes or act nearly as ornery. Of course, he ain't the dominant one either. But you can see how ridiculous he gets. So anyways, just walking down along here, letting you see the herd. It's kind of a cool little day. The wind's blowing. It's been probably 80 some odd degrees, but these are the days you get good sunburn if you're not careful, because the breeze keeps you cool with your sweat. Keeps you out in it a little bit longer. Before you know it, you're getting sunburned, because that sun's still pretty intense here in the month of August. Anyways, folks, boy, I sure like having comments and people coming along for these walks to see what's going on at Solar Solace Farms. If you have any comments or any kind of suggestions, things that you want to talk about, please feel free to hit me up in the comments. This is Solar Solace signing off.